Picture this. You're standing in the middle of a vast white polar landscape. As far as the eye can see, it's just a frozen, silent wilderness, a static, endless river of ice locked in this eternal, quiet freeze. But here's the crazy part. That stillness? It is a complete illusion. Right now, deep beneath your boots, miles below that serene surface, there is a rhythmic, violent, subterranean pulse going on. We're talking crushing weight, explosive energy releases, and massive fractures happening constantly. There's literally a hidden monster waking up beneath the ice, and it is completely shattering everything we thought we knew about the Earth's climate systems.
The absolute biggest mystery keeping Earth scientists up at night right now is the sudden, unpredictable surge of what we call ice streams. These are essentially high-velocity conduits that drain massive amounts of a glacier's volume directly into the ocean. For decades, we treated these catastrophic surges as just random freak events. But they aren't random at all. The ice is actually communicating its structural failures before they even happen. Okay, let's dive into this, because what scientists are discovering right now is this mind-blowing phenomenon known as cryoseismicity. The ice is quite literally screaming.
To really wrap our heads around why a completely stationary mountain of ice suddenly rockets forward, we have to talk about shear stress. Think about an old wooden dresser. You know when you try to pull open a really stubborn, stuck drawer? You pull steadily, but the friction between the wood and the frame holds it super tight. So you pull harder, right? You're building immense tension in your arms and in the wood itself. And then suddenly the resistance just gives out, and the drawer flies violently open, probably spilling everything inside all over the floor. Well, the base of a massive glacier operates on that exact same mechanical principle. It builds up unimaginable shear stress against the rough bedrock deep underground until it violently snaps into motion. When that insane amount of tension builds and releases, it creates cryoseismicity. These are acoustic emissions, basically sounds and vibrations generated by the cracking, sliding, and fracturing of ice grinding against the bedrock below. Now, most of these sounds happen at frequencies way below human hearing, but they map out exactly how energy is dissipating between the moving ice and the Earth. Imagine pressing a heavy hardcover book down onto a rough wooden table and trying to push it across. You can actually feel the vibrations, right? That rapid chatter traveling through the table and right into your hands. That chatter is friction. And similarly, the deep rhythmic thrumming of a glacier gives us a perfect real-time map of exactly how much grip the bedrock has on the ice overhead.
Section 2, How Glaciers Actually Move. The physical mechanics of the surge.
To really understand how a frozen, seemingly solid landscape accelerates to terrifying speeds, we have to look closely at the violently shifting mechanics happening down in the dark, crushing depths beneath the surface. The secret to a glacier's terrifying speed is something called subglacial till. Now, this isn't solid rock. It's basically a layer of unconsolidated sediment, gravel, and mud sitting right smack in the middle between the solid ice above and the hard bedrock below. Under normal conditions, this till is relatively stable. It holds things in place. But as global temperatures rise, immense amounts of meltwater drain all the way down through miles of ice and hit this bottom layer. Suddenly, this dry gravel and mud turns into a highly pressurized slurry. It stops being a brake pad and starts acting exactly like millions of tiny ball bearings, completely stripping away the bedrock's grip on the ice. Now, what's really interesting to picture here is the massive scale of this problem. Think of a professional ice skater gliding across a frozen rink. As long as the ice surface is firm and dry, their blades bite in and they have total control. But if the rink's cooling system breaks and a thin layer of liquid water coats the surface, the skater's blades lose their bite entirely. They hydroplane, slipping uncontrollably. In our scenario, the skater is an unimaginably heavy ice sheet, and that melted rink surface is the pressurized slurry of subglacial till. This single mechanism allows a glacier to accelerate from creeping just a few meters a year to sprinting kilometers per year in just a matter of months. It's absolutely wild.
And when this acceleration kicks in, I promise you, it is not a smooth ride. It is entirely defined by something called the stick-slip phenomenon. You see, ice does not slide continuously. It progresses in massive, jerky, violent movements. Step 1, the ice sticks to the bedrock. Step 2, millions of tons of pressure and tension build up behind it. Step 3, the friction is finally overcome and the whole glacier leaps forward. To picture this, imagine dragging a really thick, heavy rubber band across a rough piece of sandpaper. You pull it, but it stays put, stretching and stretching until, snap, it audibly cracks and leaps forward. Every single time the glacier snaps forward like that rubber band, it releases massive amounts of kinetic energy. Those violent snaps are the exact tremors we are detecting. But the center of the ice stream isn't the only thing moving. The outer edges of these fast-moving ice streams rub furiously against the slower-moving, stagnant ice around them. We call these outer boundaries shear margins. Think of them like the guardrails of a high-speed highway that are just absorbing a continuous, grinding car crash. If you were to watch two rivers of sand flowing right next to each other, but at entirely different speeds, the boundary where they touch would be a swirling, turbulent, chaotic mess. The shear margins of a glacier are the frozen, permanent version of that exact turbulence. The ice here is absolutely crushed, folded, and pulverized. In fact, the friction in these margins is so incredibly intense that it can actually melt the surrounding ice in an environment that is way below freezing, which creates these incredibly complex crystalline structures. This brings us to Chapter 3, Stethoscopes for the Planet, Listening to the Ice. So if all of this violent, incredible mechanical shifting is happening miles underground, how on earth do scientists actually diagnose these massive structural failures while standing up top in the freezing, biting wind of the polar surface? Well, the answer lies in some absolute engineering marvels that can survive the absolute extremes of our world. Scientists deploy these highly sensitive, automated seismic arrays across the surface of the glacier. We're talking machinery designed to operate flawlessly at negative 40 degrees Celsius. By placing these sensors in a wide grid pattern across the desolate white landscape, scientists can listen deep, deep into the Earth. When a massive structural failure happens miles below, these arrays pick up the vibrations from multiple different angles. This allows researchers to triangulate the exact origin of a subglacial crack, basically turning the Earth itself into a patient, and these sensor grids into the ultimate planetary stethoscope.
So, the crucial point is how scientists actually decode all these vibrations. They essentially look at two types of waveforms, P waves and S waves. P waves, or primary waves, are fast and sharp, and they're created by the brittle snapping of the ice. S waves, or secondary waves, are slow and rolling, and they are created by the massive physical movement of the ice block itself. Think about a severe thunderstorm. When lightning strikes, you see the flash instantly, right? But the deep rumble of thunder takes a few seconds to reach you. By measuring the delay between that lightning flash and the thunder crack, you know exactly how far away the storm is. By comparing the exact timing between the sharp P waves and the rolling S waves, scientists can pinpoint exactly where the glacier is breaking down beneath them.
Now, the field is evolving way beyond just listening. Recent advances in satellite technology, specifically satellite interferometry, which uses radar to measure microscopic changes in surface elevation, allow us to take incredibly precise imagery of how fast the surface of the ice is moving. And then, we literally layer that directly over the real-time seismic pulses we're gathering from the stethoscopes down below. We are literally building a 4D model of glacier behavior. We can sit at a computer screen and watch a glacier shift from a locked, sticking regime into a highly dangerous, rapid, sliding regime in absolute real time. Let's say there's a week of record-high temperatures and a massive meltwater event occurs. Almost instantaneously, the seismic signature of the entire glacier changes from a series of sharp, impulsive cracking noises to a steady, low-frequency hum. It is exactly like listening to a car engine. When your car is sitting at a red light, it has a quiet, steady, idling purr. But when you floor the accelerator to merge onto a highway, the engine roars, shifting into a deep, high-effort frequency. A skilled mechanic can hear an engine and tell you exactly how much load it's under, just from the sound. Today, glaciologists can listen to the low-frequency hum of a glacier and tell you exactly how hard the environment is pushing it toward a catastrophic surge. This takes us to our final chapter. Chapter 4, Predicting the Next Surge, Saving Coastal Cities, and Building the Future. Ultimately, you might be wondering, why does all of this matter? All of this data, all of these underground sound waves, they represent something much, much larger than just polar science. This is literally about the survival of global infrastructure. The implications here are incredibly profound for humanity. Coastal cities all over the globe rely entirely on the stability of these massive polar ice reservoirs to keep the oceans at bay. By identifying the specific rhythmic chatter that happens right before an ice stream surges, we gain a vital window of time, sometimes months or even years, to prepare for significant changes in local sea levels. In geology, a small tremor along a fault line warns us of the building stress that leads to a devastating earthquake. In the exact same way, the deep vibrations of a glacier act as Earth's early warning system for massive, large-scale structural failure.
But the impact of all this goes way beyond just predicting sea level rise. Studying how ice fractures, vibrates, and deforms under stress, a process known as creep, has sparked a literal revolution in materials science. You see, when ice is pulverized in those violent shear margins we talked about earlier, it doesn't just stay broken. The ice actually recrystallizes at the molecular level. It repairs itself under extreme environmental conditions. Scientists are intensely studying this natural material repair to invent entirely new self-healing synthetic polymers. Think about that for a second.
And this brilliantly illustrates the incredible crossover between earth science and human engineering. Imagine a massive steel bridge spanning a river. A heavy vehicle crashes into a support beam, creating a really dangerous structural crack. Now imagine if that bridge, without any human intervention at all, slowly flowed its own metallic structure back together to flawlessly fill and heal that crack. That sounds like pure science fiction, right? But by studying and replicating the exact crystalline alignment we see in high-stress glacial ice, engineers are actively developing synthetic materials right now that possess this exact kind of inherent structural resilience. Let's look at how this all builds into the absolute cutting edge of predictive technology. We are now integrating advanced artificial intelligence with these real-time seismic arrays in the polar regions. The AI is trained to constantly listen to the glaciers. It detects impossibly subtle shifts in vibration that precede a dangerous surge long before a human analyst staring at a chart ever could. This creates a really powerful feedback loop. Step 1, the AI flags a strange acoustic pattern. Step 2, we deploy targeted sensors to confirm exactly what physical mechanism is failing. Step 3, that new verified data is fed back into the AI, endlessly refining its predictive capacity. It is a beautiful, iterative machine learning loop. Think of it like a child picking up a musical instrument for the very first time. At first, they just smash the keys, making random, dissonant noises. They're just feeling out the mechanics of the object. But over time, with practice and feedback, they begin to recognize the patterns. Those random noises transform into complex, predictive melodies that perfectly harmonize with their environment. That is exactly what our AI models are doing with the chaotic sounds of the polar ice streams. They are turning terrifying noise into life-saving foresight.
We have absolutely crossed a massive threshold in human ingenuity here. The marriage of cryoseismology, satellite sensing, and algorithmic AI has completely dismantled the mystery of these frozen giants. We no longer view glaciers as passive, frozen landmarks. We now know they are active, vibrating engines that drive our entire climate system. We have finally breached the architecture of silence that hid the violence beneath the surface for so long. The data is absolutely clear. The ice is speaking. But the ultimate question remains. Are we ready to truly translate the roar of the glacier and act on it before the waters rise?